So let's tell an optimistic story, a story of hope. And this story motivates why we should always consider the latest technological breakthroughs and just use our rational thinking, our own minds to attempt to stay on the right side of change. And let's tell a story of Sarah. And I used ChatGPT to create a story for me. Sarah, in January 2007, Sarah was beginning her first stop at a tech startup. She was passionate about technology and innovation, and she has just completed her degree in computer science. So she's pretty young, right? 2007, she ends university. And then she turned on the internet, YouTube or so, and checked out some videos and stumbled upon this video, this like 10-minute introduction video of a CEO, tech CEO of the famous Apple company. Apple was already a big company, but now let's look at the announcement.
Anything we want. Put any user interface up and a pointing device. We solved it with the mouse, right? We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? Well, what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate this? We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No. No. Who wants a stylus? You have to get them and put them away and you lose them. Yuck. Nobody wants a stylus. So let's not use a stylus. We're going to use the best pointing device in the world. We're going to use a pointing device that we're all born with. We're born with 10 of them. We're going to use our fingers.
Okay, so you get the point. So Sarah listens to this story. So she does some research. She has a new job, making 60K or so. So she decides to put 10% of her paycheck into the new company, right? In this year, into the not the new company, into Apple, because she believes in the story. She is just looking at the big picture, and the big picture. She sees the product and she immediately believes this is a significant edge and everybody will want such a device, everybody on the planet. So we will see a market of billions of those devices. Maybe she can already anticipate that there will be some competition, obviously, but Apple as the first mover and as the great company it has already shown and proven that it was, she's just maybe naively thinking that this company will become very successful. So she puts 10% of her paycheck into this company, 6K, right? And then, some friends call her naive and they tell her that she cannot beat the stock market and she should rather invest in the S&P 500 and she blah, 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 like all the stuff, you know, right? All the friends that are not as successful as her. And but she still committed to invest 6K annually. Her paycheck keeps increasing, so percentage-wise, it is a smaller percentage. Maybe she does some S&P 500 on the side as well, right? Maybe over time she, as her paycheck increases, she keeps investing 10% of her income, but a smaller and smaller percentage goes into Apple. Actually, the rest goes to S&P 500, right? And initially, she buys Apple stock at an average price of $3.87 per share. Today, it's let me check. Today it should be like 200 something bucks per share, right? And Apple was a big company, right? I don't think it was the biggest company or one of the biggest companies, but it was already a large company. And in fact, it might have already been maybe it was already one of the biggest companies. Okay, so I will. Maybe, okay, let's check. 2007 biggest market cap stocks. Because I did this exercise in a few recent Finxter videos. Okay, so ExxonMobil was the biggest one. I mean, it was at least not in the top 4 companies. Google was number 17. There's Apple. Yeah, Apple was number 33, okay? So it was already a big company, not top 5 company or so. Okay, then in 2008 we have the financial crisis, everything crashed, but she believes in the iPhone. The iPhone was actually a successful launch in 2007, so she she's basically, there's no reason for her to deviate from her investment thesis. So she focuses on her job, keeps investing 6K, a small amount of her paycheck, into Apple, and Apple starts to recover. Stock price has already surged to $7, right? So she has basically doubled her money in 2 years or so, 2-3 years. And she still believes in Apple. Apple is ramping up production. It doesn't seem like the product is really successful on the market, so why should she sell, right? So at 2013, the portfolio is growing. 2015 it grows, and here you can actually see the chart. I plotted her portfolio value. It grows like in 17 years since she started. It has grown to over 1.5 million, almost say $2 million portfolio, right? And only the Apple stock portion of her portfolio is on its way to grow to 2 million. It's like 1.7 million or so today. So she's financially free. She doesn't have to work. Maybe she still works at her job because she enjoys it, but she also has a more than 1.7 million Apple investment. So how did this happen? It all started with watching the video, believing into the future. She didn't do a lot of financial analysis, right? Over time she studied the income statements of Apple and so on, so she learned about the company. But the learning was just to confirm that her intuition was right. Her intuition that everybody wants an iPhone. Still in 2024, everybody wants the iPhone, right? So that's why Apple can sell their products and make a lot of margin. As they scale up their companies, create new products, create the product ecosystem, and so on. So, and it didn't start like she wasn't investing in a startup or something. It wasn't a very high risk investment. It was just a high conviction bet into a company and the CEO that have already proven that they can do stuff, that they can create disruptive products, and that they can solve the production problem, and that they also create products that people love. And the point of this video is that the same is happening now with new product categories. Here we see the Optimus bot. Let's have a look at the Optimus. Okay, so I will turn off audio for now for this video, but you can see, I mean, these are already older videos, like more than a year old, but this is a new product, a revolutionary product category. We can imagine Steve Jobs presenting such a product, right? And then 10 years later it will take over the world. This is a product everybody wants, a humanoid robot. Everybody would want like the kind of Star Wars humanoid robot friend, right? Everybody wants one. I mean, I want one for sure. Maybe as you watch this video, probably you would take one as well, doing some work for you, some labor at home. It is a beautiful product as well. It's very useful. We can see ourselves interacting with this intuitively. We can see probably the humanoid form shape becomes better over time, much like the smartphone that initially was also a bit clunky. Today it looks better, right? But not that different. And similarly, it will be for the Optimus bot. In a couple of years, it will look much more beautiful, much more sophisticated, but it's like the same type of product category, right? It is one that will be owned or desired by billions. Billions of people on the planet will want this Optimus bot. And of course, there are also other like competitors already that are also producing the bot. It will be exactly the same type of market as the smartphone market, right? It is not like Apple was the only company producing smartphone. It was just the first major company that created such a thing, right? And they had the best brand. And similarly, the same is happening to Tesla today. Tesla, like if you just take a step back, in my opinion, it's not investment advice, but in my opinion, Tesla is simply like, it's just a copy and paste pattern, right? A big picture pattern. And of course, it's important to understand and read financial statements and so on, but oftentimes it's also useful to take a step back and look at the big picture. We are currently on the verge of creating a new product category that will be as successful and as impactful as the iPhone in 2007. There were a lot of doubters in 2007, and many people maybe arguing that Apple won't remain the leader, or maybe even arguing against the product category itself. But this didn't change Sarah's success story, right? She was like nothing, I should say, like she was special, right? She had conviction, but she was not like an early Apple angel investor or something, right? She was not IQ 150. She was not a PhD in something like in stock analysis or so. So she was just a normal person seeing that this product will be desired by billions, and this was like the underlying foundational understanding she had, and this gave her the conviction to do this long term, to take this long term bet on a company, on a CEO, on a mission, on a vision. And this one is the same, right? If people, like many retailers now, invest in Tesla, they are for them it doesn't matter too much if the stock falls 20% or so after market, right, after close, or after an earnings call or something. I mean, they just see the bigger picture. They see the reality as it unfolds. They see that humanoid robots will be the biggest product category, and if you want to bet on one company, and you can only bet on one public company, maybe two with NVIDIA, that would actually benefit of this complete transformation of embodied AI. And if you could take only one bet, your bet must be Tesla, right? Because it has the strongest brand. It has the most advanced AI, real-world AI. It has the best production capacity for robots. It already creates millions of robots on the street, right? That perform dangerous tasks such as self-driving, like it's a weapon driving at 100 miles per hour. And it's a robot as well, right? And so it's very dangerous, and they can have already proven that they can pull it off. They can pull off the production. So the top player in the humanoid robot space definitely is Tesla. And now let's again have some first principles argument. Say we have a billion. Say we have billions of robots. We have billions of smartphones. Now, like 17 years later, after the introduction of the iPhone, we have billions of smartphones. How many iPhones do we have? iPhones number of. So we have here roughly 230 million units. We sell 230 million units in 2023. So just 17 years later. What if we sell 200 million units, or even only 100 million units per year? 17 years later now. So 100 million units. Let's do some calculation. 100 million units times $10,000 per unit profit. This would be very, very conservative, right? Probably, I mean, the value of one unit is insane. I mean, it's not like a smartphone, right? This is like a real-world embedded robot that can actually do labor for you. If you would pay 20k for this thing, and Tesla makes 10k profit, if you would pay 20k, you would pay less than for your car, but this thing could actually make you money. It could actually build you a house or something, right? It could if you would pay 10k for this, maybe you don't have 10k, but you could finance it easily, much like you would finance a car. So you would pay $100 per month or so for this thing, for this device, for this humanoid robot, and $100 per month, and it can save you tens of hours every single month, right? So if you pay $100 and you save 20 hours per month, I mean, you would save much more, right? But if you would only save 20 hours a month, you would pay $5 for your own hourly rate. And if it would save you 100 hours a month, you would pay for your own time $1 per hour. I mean, who wouldn't do such a deal, right? So, but if we produce 100 million units and we multiply with 10k per unit profit, so how much profit do we have? And you can see Sarah was becoming quite successful, right? 17 years after finishing her career, she has like a lot of those Apple products. She can afford it and she can work from anywhere she wants. Of course, this is just a generated image, but there are millions of people like her who bet on the company early and profited tremendously from the Apple story. And the same, I think, will happen with Tesla as well. So here the profit will be 1 trillion, right? So we have 100 million units, we have 10K profit per unit, so our profit is 1 trillion. So if you have a company, say a 20 PE or so ratio, 25 PE ratio, which is really conservative, it's less than Apple today, the Tesla company would be worth 20 trillion, 25 trillion, something like this. So we will see a 30x or so, similar to Apple gains. Maybe, so so in Apple, we started in the year 2007 with a $3.8 share price. Now we are at $189. So it was a 60x or so. And the Tesla story will be similar, right? Because this will be just the beginning, and maybe it doesn't even take 17 years. If you have learned one thing from the past disruptions, is that they happened faster and faster and faster. So the transformations we see, so for instance, ChatGPT went from 0 to 100 million users in only a couple of weeks. And the same might happen for the humanoid robot, right? Because it can already be produced today. It is already useful today, and it's just becoming better exponentially. So yeah, who wouldn't want to buy such a product? And probably we will make much more profit per unit initially as we ramp up productions, because we can sell it for 100K even, right? I mean, and many factories would buy it. If we only have 1 million humanoid robots on the planet initially, then you couldn't probably purchase one for even if you paid 50K for this thing, because the price will just get bid up initially. There's such a scarcity of such a product, and if you pay 50K for it, somebody would pay you 70K for it in order to use them in their factories and replace a worker, saving 100K per year or so, right? So the numbers might look much more bullish, right? And if you have a $1 trillion profit, then the market cap of the company would be 25 trillion. The stock would make at least a 30-40x or so, right, from today's prices. Okay, so I just wanted to share this quick motivational story. Sometimes the things are really simple, right? I mean, just stay in your job and invest in things you believe in, and you can outperform markets. And it is not all about, I mean, of course it's about probabilities. It is not guaranteed that Tesla will succeed. But it's like sometimes you need to take bets on your convictions. And if you don't have the conviction that Tesla will build humanoid robots, then of course you shouldn't invest in the company. Otherwise, for me at least, it's a simple investment thesis I have. I don't care about car revenue and so on. For me, Tesla investment is just this thing. I'm just like Sarah in this story. I think in 17 years Tesla will be worth like 30x more just based on humanoid robots. So that's why I keep investing in Tesla. Thanks for listening to this video. If you like those type of videos, then give me a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.